What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, yo, it's Nate Dogg, 916, coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. Hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell if you want to keep catching my content, man. I appreciate those who've been down since day one. Stay loyal. Today, we're going to talk about some stuff, right? So, I was talking to Life Without Parole. Check out that channel on YouTube, Life Without Parole. I was talking to her the other day, and everybody who knows who that is knows that she's a prison wife. And we were talking about what is the obligations of a prison wife, right? What are the actual obligations from a ex-convict or actual convict's point of view, right? So let me start out by delivering my situation, what happened with me, right? So I was incarcerated and I was dealing with a young lady and I was doing things that we should say are not so appropriate according to CDCR regulations, right? Because I was doing things that made sure I had canteen under my bunk, that I had packages every quarter, and so on and so forth, of course. And then she said that she wanted me to stop getting in trouble. Right now, I had to explain to her, and this is even, hopefully this can enlighten some of you people who are interested in getting in relationships with individuals that are incarcerated as well. First and foremost, if you're going to get involved with an individual that's incarcerated, please understand that staying all the way out of trouble, it's not really an option. Especially if you're on a level 4 institution. It's not really an option to just stay out of trouble. There are certain things you can navigate your way away from, such as drugs and gambling and things of those such. But as far as incidents, like actual violence incidents, sometimes you just can't avoid it, right? It's true. So if you're involved with someone who's incarcerated, please understand that there may be moments where he has no choice but to get in trouble. Sometimes it's either get in trouble or be in trouble, if you understand what I mean. Let it sink in. So, she said, can you stop getting in trouble? Once again, I was in the hole and she had to come visit me, right? And I'm like, well, it's not as easy as that, but I can cut out some of the extracurriculars. However, understand that these extracurriculars are the things that provide me with the things that I need to live as comfortably as possible while in this corner of hell. Unfortunately, that's how I see it. It's a small corner of hell. But being able to eat from under my bunk, to have packages, to not wear the state issue clothing as much as possible, all of these things made the time a little easier. It made it easier to deal with. So I had no intention at the time to let go of the amenities that come with doing time. So I had to explain to her, now I can stop doing all these extracurriculars. However, you would have to supplement my income if I'm going to stop earning for myself in here. And she agreed. Now let's look at it like this. You have to understand that, yeah, we're men. We stand on our 2 feet. But if you want to deal with the individual that's incarcerated, you have to accept the fact that you will have to take care of this individual. You will have to make sure he has food. You will have to make sure he has clothing. You will make sure he has to have entertainment, such as televisions, radios, CDs, or whatever they're getting these days. You know what I mean? Especially if you want him to not be in trouble as much as possible. Obviously, on level 4, it's not really that possible to stay out of trouble altogether, but you can stay out of the stuff that comes on the side. And there's a lot of women that think, well, I'm not gonna send him no money. I'm not gonna send him no packages. I'm not gonna go pay to have a family visit. And I actually had somebody 2 days ago, no, yesterday, call me and ask me from prison if I can slide him some money so he can pay for a family visit. And all due respect, I love that brother to death. And it's kind of tight for me right now, so I couldn't anyway. But even if I could, no, I'm not paying for your woman who's out here on these streets to come visit you. She can't get up $150, $200 to come visit you, bruh? I think you might need to reevaluate your situation. Honestly, that's what I would think in that situation. But needless to say, you have so many women who say they're not going to. But you say you love this individual. Let that sink in. You say you love this individual, but you don't want to send the money. You don't want to make sure he has packages and or entertainment. Okay. All right. Me personally, you wouldn't be dealing with me at all. Not even a little bit. And it's not that I live off a female, but understand that the situation that I'm in while incarcerated, it's either I'm going to go out here and get it myself, and then you probably won't be able to come visit me anyway because I'll be putting myself in risk, or you going to handle everything I need to handle. It's that simple. I mean, you got to understand, you got to look at your dude like he's another one of your responsibilities, just like your child is your responsibility. You make sure your child eats, right? I've actually said this to an individual before over the phone while incarcerated. Go open your cabinets. Go open your cabinets in your kitchen. Go ahead, I'll wait. What'd you see? What did you see in those cabinets? Oh, I don't know. Food. 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 So your cabinets are full of food, right? Of course. Of course. Of course. And why do you say of course? You say of course because of course you're not going to let your children or yourself not have the amenities they need to survive, correct? Y'all don't need to respond to that. Y'all don't really need to respond to that because you will. You'll do everything in your power to make sure your children and yourself have everything you need to survive, correct? Yeah, I know. Let's get relevant. Let's get relevant. If you say you love an individual like you love your children, like you love yourself, why would you not want to make sure that that individual has the amenities he needs as well? Why wouldn't you? I know. This is where you can leave the comments in the comment section about why you wouldn't. Because you want him to come home, right? As soon as possible, right? You want him to come home as soon as possible, right? Okay, so you don't want him getting in trouble. You don't want him hustling. You don't want him in there doing the stuff he needs to do to make sure that his shelves are packed, that his box under his bed is packed, that his packages are coming in. You don't want him doing those things. However, you don't want to send him anything either, right? And you think that's good math, right? That's 2 + 2, right? Easy, right? No, it's not. It's not. Because I've heard so many women say I'm not going to just be taken advantage of by somebody incarcerated. But if you love them, it's not being taken advantage of. It's you taking care of one of your responsibilities that you chose to do. Once he's liberated from that institution that he's at, then he can step up and actually put his pants on like a grown man and handle his business and take care of his family. But at this point, he has no choice He's incarcerated. He has no choice other than to go with the flow. And if you don't want him to get in trouble, then maybe you should change your attitude and your mentality on what you should and should not be doing for him. There should be no limits to what you'd be willing to do for him, especially if you want him to stay out of trouble. I mean, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I have done a lot of time. And I do know what it takes to survive in prison on the violent side and on the amenities that come with being in prison, like having a TV or having a radio or getting letters or getting pictures from the streets or getting store or getting packages. You know how the connection that helps a man who's incarcerated feel to the streets so he don't get lost in that system? He don't get lost because he knows he got people out there that love him. And if you're that woman that's supposed to love him, why wouldn't he want to stay loyal? Why wouldn't he? But if you're that woman that's just saying you're his girl, ain't doing nothing for him, do not be surprised when he comes home and he shakes you like a bad habit. Of course, then you're going to say he's a piece of crap and this and that, whatever. But what are you doing while he's there? Are you out here? Are you sharing yourself with other men? Whether he knows about it or not, are you? Are you really staying loyal? Is he eating like you eating? Is he dressing like you dressing? Are you investing in him the same way you're investing in yourself? Ask yourself that. And if you're not, reevaluate your situation. And if you don't want to reevaluate your situation, don't be upset when he's liberated and he decides to find a better situation. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to like to hear the stuff I'm saying right now. A lot of so-called prison wives. But for the prison wives that are really holding it down for their dudes, I salute you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the psychological foundation that you're helping these men keep. You're helping them have light at the end of the tunnel. They know that they got something to come home to. Think about that. Think about it. When a man's incarcerated, what does he have to look forward to? Going to the yard? Working out? Fighting? Stabbing? Riots? But when he gets to look forward to that visit, knowing he's going to get that package, knowing he's going to get store every year, every month, it changes the way he thinks about. It changes the decision-making process for him. Because whether he gets in trouble or not, he's going to limit the times he gets in trouble as much as he can without going against the grain. So y'all think about that. Y'all let that sink in. I'll lay y'all to death. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please leave comments in the bottom. If you like something you heard, please share it. Shout out to Life Without Parole. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for the shout out on Instagram. Y'all know what it is. It's Nate Dogg 916, man. Stay loyal, man.